como que yo apoyo, así. Yo o pon tu nombre y después pongo yo apoyo. Y que saque el nombre de la persona, no sería bueno pedir el nombre.
Sí, porque no. Son nombres, yo tan.
Que saque el nombre de la persona, no sería bueno pedir el nombre.
Son nombres,
Hello everyone, good evening. How is it going? My name is Rogério Rodrigues. I'm Microsoft Azure MVP and the MSP from Brazil. And today is first day about MSP Tech Days development track. And with you, Daniel Gomez from Ecuador. Let's go, Daniel.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome again to the first session of the development era at MSP Tech Days. Can you see the presentation?
Oh, okay, Daniel?
Yes.
It's okay? Can you ready?
Yes. Can you see that the presentation on the video?
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Well. Also, welcome everyone to the workshop on Microsoft Community Services and the human side of intelligent applications. My name is Daniel Gomez. I'm from Colombia, but now I'm studying system engineering at the University of Cuenca in Ecuador. I also have the pleasure of being in the Microsoft Student Partners Program in Ecuador and leading a student community of Microsoft. Personally, I really like to participate in these types of spaces because they allow you to share what we are learning. In my case, it's my first time I've done a webinar in English. Of course, 1,000 apologies if I ever made mistakes with pronunciation of the word. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this workshop a lot. At any time, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to write in the comment sections. In the workshop on Microsoft Community Services and the human side of intelligent applications, we will have two parts. In the first introductory part, we will see the generalities about human intelligence and artificial intelligence, specifically about the cognition of the human being, about the possibility of simulating human behavior through artificial intelligence. In the second part, we will see about solutions featuring Microsoft of Community Services. We will see how some work of them and the applications that Community Services today. We will also review Microsoft Community Services such as Face API, Computer Vision, Language Understanding, Luis, Speech, and Text Services. Well, let's start talking about the intelligence that the human being have and about artificial intelligence. Remember, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to write in the comment sections. When speaking of human intelligence, we refer to very general mental capacity to allow rationing, planning, solving problems, thinking in an abstract way, understanding complex ideas, learning quickly, and using the experience. Many times it's also said that we use one side of brain more than the other. For example, if we talk about the hemispheres of the brain, It's say the right part is related to non-verbal expression that is part of mathematics, scientific ability, reasoning, and on the right side is related to verbal expressions, creativity, artistic skills, imagination, etc. Will it's true, speaking of the brain can derive great themes, in our case, which interest use most in the cognition of the human being. And we talk about cognition, we refer to process such as memory, attention, language, perception, problem solving with intelligence, and planning. Human cognition is divided in two main groups, the feeling where you have the attention, span, and memory, and true, which has the capacity of language, vision, intelligence, and creativity. In artificial intelligence, the cognition of the thinking of the human being is one of the first aspects to consider. In the field of artificial intelligence, machines, robots, video games, as well and the intelligent systems such as digital assistants seek to simulate human behavior through artificial intelligence. To achieve these objectives, there are three important concepts in this era: artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. In artificial intelligence, seeks that a machine imitates the behavior of humans. For example, our way of communicating verbally and writing, our ability to learn from experience and error, as well as the ability to make decisions based on it. Let's say that artificial intelligence is the general concept from which other derived techniques can be explained. For example, machine learning, which has the focus on learning from data and algorithms instead of just being machine designed for a specific task. When these algorithms are complex and useful immense amounts of data to classify and relate information through neural networks, that is in the way that the human brain does. We talk about deep learning. Microsoft Cognitive Services applies these three concepts. All right, now that we have seen a short introduction to what is artificial intelligence, cognition, and the simulation of human behavior, we will learn about Microsoft Cognitive Services. Thanks to cognitive services, we can add the intelligent part of our applications. For example, recognize objects in images, interact with our applications through voice or text, through several languages, Spanish, English, Chinese, French, among other applications. Microsoft provides these services. In summary, Microsoft provides a series of APIs to implement cognitive services in our applications that allow analyzing images, interpreting text, listening, translating, and the best of the best is the interaction with these services is usually done through a natural language. These are some of my Microsoft Cognitive Services. Vision services are a set of image processing algorithms to intelligently identify, moderate, and legend your images. Speech services are useful for converting speech into text, using the voice for verification purposes or speaker recognition to your applications. Language services allow applications to process neural language with precompiled pre-compiled scripts, evaluate feelings, and learn to recognize what the user wants. The services of knowledge services create complex information and data maps to solve tasks such as intelligence recommendations and semantic search. And the search services allow you to add the Bing API to search billions of web pages, images, videos, and news with a single API call. Why Microsoft Cognitive Services? Maybe you ask that. The integration of cognitive services is relatively easy since they are used through consummation with REST APIs, almost from any programming language such as Python, Node.js, Java, C Sharp, among others. Something very good about this is that Microsoft offers a lot of documentation so we can learn how to handle Microsoft Cognitive Services. We can usually learn through Microsoft Docs and Microsoft Learn. With Microsoft Cognitive Services, we can build apps to provide intelligence, attractive and natural, more personal and human experience in the end, thanks to power artificial intelligence and knowledge of the web. We can build apps based on powerful algorithms with a few lines of code. There is no limit to what can be built. The APIs incorporate machine learning and give live your ideas. Currently, there are many activities which apply cognitive services. For detection of emotion in stories, for example, it could be analyzed if customers are satisfied with giving a service. To find missing persons, for example, in the countries of the first world, where disappearance are recorded the most through facial recognition in the security cameras of public places. Community services can help use with this objective. Determine the number of men and women at an event, recognition of objects, translation of language in real time according to the culture and different types of accents, either by text or by voice. Interpretation of instruction through a natural language. For example, in digital assistants such as Cortana that allow users to interact in a natural language. As we can see, cognitive services can be used to perform many types of intelligent applications. Below, we will review some of them to see how they work and applications that we could develop in the future. We start with Face API. Face API is one of the cognitive services on the vision section. This service allows users to detect and compare face of people, obtain the physical attributes of a face of a person, detect emotions through images, among other applications. Here we can see one of the application of a face API, where we can realize recognition of emotions of one or several people in images. This case too. For example, you can identify the emotion of neutrality, happiness, surprise, anger, dislike, fear, sadness, and others. In the case of the image, we can see the emotion of surprise that both people have. In this image, Face API detects that the people on the image have an emotion of happiness. In this other case, Face API, what this does is calculate a percentage of each of emotions, happiness, sadness, angers, and the emotions that more percentage will be the one that comes closest to reality. In this example image, the emotions anger has a percentage of 98. In this case, we say that a child is angry. In addition to emotions, Face API can also detect several attributes that characterize a person. For example, gender, age, skin color, hair color, and much more. You can also identify if the person has facial hair or glasses, for example. Well, next we will see an example about an application made in Python to obtain the main attributes of face through images. You can see the presentation. In Python, I have a Face API demo that we can use to see how it's work. It's wrong. Okay, this is the demo that Microsoft offers use to test features the Face API has for use. Generally, in community services, we will need a key to be able to use it. This key can be obtained by creating a Face API resource through Azure. For this, we can go to the Azure portal and create the resource. We need search the resource, in this case, Face API. and create. Okay, here we need to specify the name. In this case, I will put face API. Then it is necessary to select the Azure subscription that you have. In my case, Visual Studio Enterprise. And then we need to specify the location where the resource will be hosted. It is advisable to select the nearest place where we live. In this case, I select that. And the price label, in this case, if 0 is the free and allows you to make 20 calls per minute. In this case, I'm not going to create it. In my case, I have created the resource. Once we have created the resource and can access it, we can go to the case session, this part, and copy one of them which will help use in our application. Okay, this key one. This case, subscription key. This case is same. But that's not enough. We also need the endpoint, which can be found in the overview section on the resource in this part. The endpoint will change according to the regions that we have specified when creating the resource. In this case, ACE use. And paste here. Save. Well, with this configuration made, let's test face detection. For that, we need to look in this part. We need choice image. In this case, I take a picture. And we can see the attributes. For example, in this case, age approach very well. In my case, I'm 24 years. The API say that I have 23, and the approximation is good. Here, the color is black. Facial hair, yes. Okay. Emotion, neutral. And no accessories. I take other picture. and we can see the emotion is happiness in this case. Okay, now let's see the custom vision service. Data classification is probably the most common topic in the analysis of the complex or very extensive database. In general, the task of is to classify a set of data with pre-established categories or based on common them or issue. An initial approach is to avoid manual classification. The objective of this process is that an individual can evaluate the characteristics of a data, identifies the type of data, and classify it in one or more previously existing categories. Azure Custom Vision is a cognitive services that allow you to create, implement, and improve your own image classifier. An image classifier is an artificial intelligence service that applies labels representing classes to the images according to their visual characteristics. Unlike the computer vision service, custom vision allows you to determine the labels to apply. In summary, the custom vision service uses an automatic learning algorithm to apply labels to images. For the classification of images, there are three main activities: dataset organization, training, and realization of test cases. Something very interesting about this service is that the images evaluated in a customized vision model become part of feedback loop that can be used to continue improving the classifier. I will see that in next. A real case. There are several examples of classification. For example, Twitter has its classifier to identify if the images are or not are sensitive. When Twitter classifies the images as sensitive, it displays an alert message to indicate to the user that the image may include material that may hurt the sensitivity of some people. Another example is an image classifier with spam. For example, the image of the left shows the typical offers to acquire a product than the image of right simply shows a tree. In this case, the image of the left is considered spam. To see how custom vision works, let's implement the example of the image classifier with spam through custom vision. For this, we gain access to customvision.ai page, build our classifier, and test it. To create a project, we go to the customvision.ai page. Customvision.ai. We log in with our Azure account and proceed to create a new project. For For this, it's necessary to specify the name. In this case, spam. The description of the same of the group of resource. And the resource group. In this case, we are going to create a new one. The subscription, the location, and the plan. This is being created in Azure. Okay. Then it's necessary to specify the type of the project. In this case, it's a classification. In this part. The type of classification, which in the practice is multi-class, single tag per image. Here. Since an image is going to be considered spam or natural, but no both at the same time. And it is also necessary to specify the domain of the application. In this case, we put general. When creating the project, what is necessary is to upload the images dataset to the project. For this, it's necessary to enter the images in groups. That is, first the spam images and then the natural images. In my case, the spam images is here. I select all. And the tag is spam. The images are spam. Okay. And now you upload the natural images. And the tag is nar. The process to perform the training process through the train option in this part. Fast training. Okay, once the training is completed, two metrics are shown to measure the effectiveness of the model. Accuracy and recovery. In this case, precision or recall, where the precision indicates the fraction of the classification identified that are correct. For example, if the model identified 100 images as spam and 99 of them were actually spam, then the precision will be 99%. In contrast, recovery indicates the fraction of actual classification that were correctly identified. For example, if there were actually 100 natural images and the model identifies 80 as natural, the percentage would be 80. Then, what remains to be done is the realization of the test case. For this, we go to the Geek Text option and select the images that we want to try in our classifier. In this case, the image is classified as natural, and the solution is correct because the image is natural. Let's do another test. In this case, the image are classified with 99% of spam, and that's true. Okay. Now let's see the language understanding service. Language understanding service, Luis, allows your application to understand what a person wants in their own words. Luis uses machine learning to allow developers to build applications that can receive user input in natural language and extract meaning from it. The instruction that we can make to our application in natural language can be like this. I want book a flight to Cairo. I want to order two pizzas. Where is the nearest club, for example? In the end, we are going to manage a JSON with this data through a Luis service. Luis is designed to identify valuable information in conversation. Luis interprets the user's objectives, intentions, and extracts valuable information from sentences, entities, for a high-quality nuanced language model. To understand the intention and entities in Luis, let's see the following example. We tell our applications the following instruction. Reserve a ticket to the cinema in Barranquilla for the movie Spider-Man Far From Home at 5 p.m. on Friday, July 5, 2019. In this case, our intention is to reserve a ticket on the cinema. And the entities of the interaction are the place of the cinema that will be in Barranquilla, the name of the film, Spider-Man From For Home, the hour of the film, 5 p.m., and the time of the movie, 5 p.m. 2019. and the date of the move, July 5, 2019. Let's apply this in an example. Suppose we want to build an application to control an auditorium. What we want to control of the auditorium are the stage lights, the public lights, the projector to turn it or off, and the auditorium door. The purpose of the application is that we can perform action of these things, turn off and turn on the lights, for example, and also be able to check the status of something. For example, check if the projector is on or off. For this, we can ask to the page Luis.ai, build our model and test it. In order to build our model, we must first have a data set with a list of possible instructions that the user can do. In this case, I have the list of in Spanish, but the work is the same in English. That is the example of extraction. Is there a projector working? Other example, turn off stage lights. With the data set defined, now we can to ask to the page Luis at AI that help you to work with this service in a very easy way. In this case, first we start session. And for create a new model, we click on create application. For this, we specify the name of the project. Then the input language, which is very important because of the culture issue. The user will have different ways of performing an instruction. Even in the case of the Spanish, there is a big difference between Spanish in Latin America and the Spanish in Spain. In this case, we will select English. Finally, we put a description. Okay. And now we create a schema. This is done with our data set, and then we specify the intention and possibility entities in an extraction. First, we specify the names of in our intentions. In our case, is take actions and check states. This case is information. and request. By default, we will always have an indentation no in case the interaction does not correspond to any of the indentation specified information or request. Then in the indentation, we put the instruction that we have in our dataset. Is the projector working? This is type information. And in example expression, we put that here. The same with the other instruction. But indentation request. Turn off stage lights. Then indentation, we put the instruction that we have in our dataset. In this case, by way of example, I'm only going to try one instruction, but the ideal is that the more possible instructions we have, the better. Done. After we have instructions and our indentations, we need to specify the entities. For that, we go to the entities and start creating them. In our case, our action state and material. Then we return to our instruction and indentation, and in the words of the extractions, we specify the entities. Information, in this case, is the projector. Projector is material. And working is state. And the request, the same process. This is action. Material. The next steps is to train our model. To do this, we click on train, to train. It's done. Now let's do the test with an example. Let's suppose that this is our application and it asks you to give it an instruction in a natural language. For example, say me, is the projector working? Here are the results. We recognize the type of intent that is of the type information and the entities of the extraction. A projector in the material and working working in the state. And the something very interesting is the way of learning that Luis has. Let's try with this instruction. Hello, is the computer working? Luis recognized that the intention of the type is information. And the interesting thing is that the service recognized the word computer is of the material type. Previously, we didn't specify this is our learning model. In this case, Luis has the ability to learn the way in which user perform the extraction from that main conclusion. This service is very useful for bots. If after we want to access this model in our applications, whether they are web or mobile, we can click in to post in environment production. We can click to post. And here we can access the key and the endpoint to implement this model in our applications. Well, let's start with now let's see the speech and text services. Let's start with the speech service. Azure Voice Services allows you to convert audio into text, translate speech, and convert text to speech with on-fly voice services from Microsoft. There are three main services in this category. Speech to text, convert audio with voice to text in real time for cases such as voice commands, transcription of conversation, analyze of call centers records. Other category, text to speech, convert text to speech. These services is very useful to create intelligent applications and services that speak to user in a natural way. And finally, the service voice translation. As the name says, allows voice translations in real time for any of the Azure languages supported. These translations can be received in the text or voice form. Something very interesting in these speech services is that it eliminates background noise and focuses on the voice of the user to obtain the possibility to obtain instructions that he may be giving to an application. Another service that goes in this direction is the text translator service. This is an automatic translation service that we can use to translate text almost in real time through a simple REST API call. As an example of these two services, speech and text translate, let's see an application that allows the users to record an audio so that the applications can then convert the audio into text, translate it, and show the translated audio to the user. For this, we have four input parameters: the input language, the output language, the gender of the person for the voice, and the input audio by the user. As an output, we have three things: the interpreted text, the translated text, the translated audio. This audio will be the conversation of the text to audio of the translated message. Okay, well, this is the code of Python. Let me open. This is the code in Python, in which we are using two services, special API and the text translator. In the text API, we have a function that allows use to translate the text in the language that we specify. This part. In this function, we have the input parameter text, which is the next we want to translate, and the language output res parameter, which is the language to which we are going to translate. For this, we need to specify several things, including the resource key. Without it, we can use the service. The rest is the user specifying the request with the aforementioned parameters and get the response with the translated message, the text. On the other hand, here we want the file that corresponds to speech service with similar functionalities. To the key, to being able to use the service and several functions. And get text out, text from audio. The method is to record the user voice and convert that audio into text. This is recording to the language that we specified. In this case, it is with the input parameter language speech. And finally, we get the text that is what interests us in this function. Then we have the function get audio from text, which unlike the previous function, here what we do is get the audio of a text, which the difference that here we can use an agent. An agent as the person who will read our text. This agent can be male or female and will vary by language. Each agent will have their own accents, so to speak. In this file, finally, we have the agent by language or gender. Well, here we have our main where we use everything mentioned above. These are the language that I have defined for this application: English, Spanish, Portuguese, French, and Italian. And there are also several important parameters. In this, the input of language, the input of the language of output, the gender, of our agent, and then the calls to the functions. Okay, we run the application. While it's true, we can make the translation directly from voice to voice, but in this case, it's academic to translate text and then the voice. This is a test in the MSP Tech Days for everyone. No. In this case, excuse me, input in use and output. This is a test for, okay, sorry. This is a test in the MSP Tech Days. The intention is to translate from English to Spanish. In this case, I try to do from Spanish to English. Hola a todos, espero que estén entendiendo el mensaje que estoy transmitiendo. And yes, in this case is good, the translator. Hello everyone, I hope you're getting the message I'm transmitting. And the voice.
Hello everyone, I hope you're getting the message I'm transmitting.
And I'll try with Portuguese. Amigos de Brasil, confirmen que este mensaje ha sido traducido correctamente. Gracias. This is the text en portugués.
Amigos do Brasil confirmam que esta mensagem foi traduzida corretamente. Obrigado.
Ok. With this, we have reached the end of this talk. I really hope you enjoyed it and that you have a general understanding of the functioning of Microsoft Community Services. Maybe they have a question? Feel free write to in the comment sections. No? Okay. In the future, if you would like to know more, need support in Spanish, you can write to me email. For me, it would be a pleasure to help. In the following link, I leave the practices carried out on this workshop. All right. Once again, thank you, Rogerio. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and Orlando too. For all your
Okay.
Rogerio, thank you very much for the opportunity, and Orlando too. For all your
Okay. Yes.
thank you very much for the opportunity, and Orlando too.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Thank you very much for the opportunity,
So,
and Orlando too.
thank you, Daniel. Awesome session, and so see you. Thank you, Daniel. Awesome session, and so Daniel. Awesome session. Oh, it's okay.
Okay, thank you. MSP
Daniel?
for life.
Session. It's okay. So, Glaucia, can you hear me?
Yes, sure. You?
Yes, good. So, Glaucia, can you share your screen?
Let me see here.
Yes, good.
Sorry, has a better noise here. Someone can off some microphone here, please.
Maybe Daniel.
Sorry, has a better noise here. Someone can off some microphone here, please.
It's okay.
Here. Just give me a second. Oops. Give me a second. Oops. Give me a second. Daniel, can you off your microphone, please? Oops. Give me a second.
Maybe it's okay. Glaucia, can you hear me? It's okay. your microphone.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Can you see my
Screen?
screen right now?
Yes, good.
Nice. But the right screen with the PowerPoint session with the talk.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, yes.
Nice. So tonight, I will talk about how to host a static website on Azure in less than 10 minutes. So during this session, I will talk two different ways that you can how can I explain it for all of you, different ways how can you hosting an easy way hosting a static website using Azure App Service and Azure Storage too. So my name is Glaucia Lemos. I am a regional cloud advocate from Latam. If you want to follow me, if you want to know some updates or some news or breaking news or some different technical posts everywhere, so you can follow me in Twitter here. So so first let's talk about web app service, a little overview about it. So what is app service? So it's a web application hosting service where you can quickly build a powerful web, mobile or API apps using a .NET platform or .NET Core, Java, Ruby, Node.js, PHP, Python, in different languages. So the question is that you can hosting any languages inside on the Azure platform, just not only the .NET platform, but different languages. For example, during the session, I will do a demonstration how to hosting a static website application using Vue.js, using app service and all the stuff too. So, but why uh, Azure App Service is the right choice? First, because supports Windows and Linux platforms. This is very important to say because 100% of the Azure portal we are using Linux right now and have a high availability without patching. This is a good stuff because we can using a different availability in different ways. So building out scale and load balancing, this is very important, especially right now that we are using especially when we would like to scale up or manually or automatically our application or host our apps anywhere in Microsoft global data center infrastructure. So this is very important to say because we have more than around to I think right now around to 45 data centers worldwide world. We can use multiple languages and frameworks, as we can see before. App Service has first-class support to ASP.NET platform, Java, Ruby, Node.js, PHP, or Python. So we can run all these languages inside of the Azure platform. We can integrate our application using CD with GitHub or Team Foundation Server, GitHub, and DevOps as well. So we have so many things that we can use the Azure App Services. Why Azure App Services is the right choice? Other good thing about App Services is about security compliance because we are living right now period in the internet that we have to create a secure application. So this is very important because inside of the Azure portal we can we can build a secure application using authenticated users with Azure Activity Directory, or using some with the social login with a Google, Facebook, Twitter, or Microsoft, or even create IP address restrictions and manage services identities. So this is very important to say about it. And the buzzword right now, we can use serverless code. So we can run a code snippet or script on demand without having to explicitly provision or manage infrastructure, and pay only for the computer time your code actually uses using Azure functions. So if you want to know more informations about app service, you can click in this link above. So we have many tutorials, samples, concepts, how-to guides, some quick starts using different languages. So it's very important to use this link above. We have data centers anywhere, especially here in Brazil, especially here in Brazil South. So I really enjoy to say that Microsoft is the only cloud platform in the worldwide that have so many data centers anywhere. We have around to 45 or 15 data centers around the world. So we have data centers in Brazil, United States, and Africa, Australia, China, Japan, East Asia, India. So many places that you can host your application in different ways. Some companies are running web applications on Azure. I really enjoy to say about it because many JavaScript developers really enjoy to hosting your applications using Heroku or Netlify or other. I don't know how I can explain so many other places to hosting your applications, but some good and important companies are hosting Edge app applications using our services, especially, for example, Person, Arcoweather, and Murali, some Brazilian companies like as Lojas Rene is a huge clothes here in Brazil, Uber, Coca-Cola, Braskem, and other companies as well. So right now I will do a little demo how to hosting a static website on Azure using web app. So for to do this demonstration, you have to use you have to create Azure Trio account. So if you are a student, you can use sorry, you can use Azure for Students account. Is for free for 12 months. So let me show you here for a little bit the application. I developed here application. Can you see my screen? Someone, could you give me some feedback about it? I think is yes. Okay, it's happening. Okay, I do have here a simple application use Vue.js. So it's a calculator. So let me show you here a little bit. Let me show you here in Visual Studio Code. Just give me a second. Nice. Okay, so that you can see here is just a Vue.js application using some resources, some components, some HTML file, JavaScript file, CSS, all the stuffs here. So the main file for us here, sorry, is this file called package.json. For someone who ever know about it, Node.js applications, especially Vue.js applications, this file is very important to execute or build our application. So to run this application, Vue.js application, we have to run this command called dev. So right now we use npm run dev. First, I will run this application locally. This is a simple calculator. As you can see here, the URL is running locally. So this is just a simple calculator in Vue.js. So 10 plus 10 equals 20. Multiples 360 minus 10, 50. So this is a simple calculator running locally, right? But I really enjoy this project, but I really want to everyone around the world see my project in the cloud. How can I do that? So here in the package.json, we can see a comment very important called build. So let's try to execute this comment. So when you finish to execute this comment, he will create a little folder called dist. In this dist, we will have some manifold files, especially HTML, CSS, JavaScript. This file is very important because these files that will hosting in the cloud. Okay, so right now let me stop here the locally application. So let me show you here so you can see that we are running npm run build. Here we'll create here a dist folder after finish this command. Nice, and finished. So this is the important file for us because everything around in this application is inside on this folder. We can see here a static folder with the CSS, JS files, and index HTML. So I would like to hosting and deploy this application using Azure Service. How can I do that? So the first thing that I have to do is create a Azure account. As I said, for you, you can use as well Azure for Students. Is for free. For 12 months, you have around to $100 credit for free for using different services in Microsoft. So I really appreciate that you can use this account for free. So it's very special. It's very cool to use it. So I'll use my account here, my portal. Sorry. And the first thing that I have to do here is create a resource group. So what is a resource group? A resource group inside in the Azure is a simple logical construct that groups multiple resources together, so we can be managed as single entity. For example, here in the Azure portal, we have more than 100 services. So I can create this little box, call it resource, and inside of this resource group, I can put different services inside of this box. This is the best way that I really enjoy to compare about resource groups. So the first thing that we have to create a resource group. So let me go here, resource groups. Just click add. I have to choose a subscription. For me, I will use a CJ Global Demos. A resource group name must be unique, so I will put Glau resource group calc. I can choose the different regions and different data centers around the world. So I will let US Central US. Click on review plus create, and we create this resource group. So right now we go to resource group, and here we have a new resource group. Nice. So now I want to use a web app service, so I will click on in create a resource. I will type in my search in the marketplace. As I said before, inside the Azure portal, we have more than 100 services in the Azure. So I will type here web app. Nice. And I will click on create. Cool. So I use the same subscription. I already created before my resource group. So I use an existing. So the Glau resource group calc review. Oops, right now. Okay, this is very important. This is the name, the URL of my application. So I will call it must be unique. This is very important to say. So I will call Glau calc demo. Nice. I can choose between to publish using code or doc image. You can choose between of them. The run stack, this is very important because this is new in the portal. This is something new that released in the build 2019 this year. So we can choose a runtime stack. In this case, I will choose Node.js 10.10. So I can choose between Windows or Linux. For me, I will choose Windows. And I use the region Central US. If you want to hosting for free, you can create a service plan. So I can create a new. We'll call as app service plan Glaucalc. Okay. In here, I can change my size. In my application, can use this, choose the dev test, and choose the first one. F1 is for free. So you can hosting your application for free using Azure. This is very important to say. Any language, any application. So I will choose F1, apply. Right now, let's go to next monitoring. Here I can enable my application sites. So as is a simple application, I don't want to use the application site, so I will click on no. review and create. So right now it's creating my web app. Click on the button create again. And already created my application, my web application. Deployment in progress. Let's wait a little bit. If someone have some questions, please can talk right now if you want to have any questions. Nice. Depending on the chosen region, this part can be very slow or faster. So depending on the region. So that I choose an US data center, so it's not too faster, so a little slowly. So I will refreshing my page here. So we click on here and let me. Yes, deployment is on the way. We have to wait a little bit more. Refreshing. Refreshing. Let me see here. Web services, resource groups. Let me type here. Yeah. Still creating. Let's wait a little bit more. Right. Okay, here. So we have here a link of application. If we click here, we can see anything here because we have to transfer these files inside of the web app application. How can you do that? It's very simple. Here in the URL, as we can see here, you just have to use the kudu, and to access the kudu, you have to use scm.azurewebsites.net. So let's use this command. Nice. This is the kudu services. So you can, you can see all the environment of the bug console using bash or cmd commander or different tools here. See the process explorer of your application. Everything about your application you can see here. So let's use this option here, the bug console, use cmd. Let's go to the site, www.root, and let's delete this file. Okay, nice. So in this moment, this is the hard part way in the other words. So we have to do, the only thing is to transfer everything inside in the dist folder inside in the www root. So nice. As you can see here, all my dist folder is here. And if I refresh, sorry, if you refresh my page here again and click again in my web application, we can see that my application is on in the cloud. So it's pretty easier and faster and for free. Okay. Nice. This is nice. Okay. Let's continue here our session. So let's talk a little bit more about Azure Storage Service Overview. So what is Azure Storage? As a Microsoft managed service providing cloud storage that is highly available, secure, durable, scalable, and redundant. So we can use Azure Blobs, especially for static website applications. If you want to hosting these static websites, use Azure Data Lake Storage as well, Azure Files, Azure Queues, or Azure Tables. So in this demonstration, I will show you all of you right now how it's easier to hosting a static website on Azure Storage using Visual Studio Code. It's a different way. So here we have, just give me a second. Nice. So here I do have my application in my, sorry, let me see here. Okay. So here I do have my application locally. We already see that we are running this application locally and right now using the web app service. But right now, let's create an Azure Storage account. But before to create an Azure Storage account, we have to download in the marketplace inside the Visual Studio Code the Azure Tools. Azure Tools is a different service that you can use Azure inside in the Visual Studio Code. So in Azure Tools, we can use Docker, Azure Services, App Services, MongoDB, Cosmos DB, SQL Server, Azure, Azure Functions, Azure Storage, everything. I think around to 10 or 12 services in this extension. Okay, so let's use this extension, call it Azure Tools. Here in my Visual Studio Code is here, Azure. Once that I click on in my Azure Tools, sorry, I'm coughing a lot here. Nice. Drink a little bit of water. Nice. Let's use the storage. So I will choose first the first thing that I have to do is create a storage account. For this, I will click on here, deploy static website. So I will select my subscription, which is CJ Global Demos. Okay, here I will select a storage account. So as I don't have any storage account right now, I will create a new one. So I will click on plus here, plus create a new storage account. And I will put a unique name. Let's put here Lemos. Enter. Here I will select a resource group for new resources. In this case, I will create a new resource group. So let's create a new one. Glau storage resource group. Nice. I will select my location for new resources. So I will choose Central US. And let's refresh here. Nice. Let's find out my Let's see here. Glow. Here is invalid. Why? Error is storage account. Just give me a second. Oops. Right now created. Nice. I do have here my storage account. So let's right now let's right click the storage account that just created, and let's click and configure static website. Configure static website. Here I will enter as index HTML, and same as well in the next screen. Nice. Good. So let's back to the application, mainly in the dist folder. So click on in the right click, and we have to go to deploy to static website here. CJ Global Demos, my storage account, and that's it. It's creating. Nice. Let's browse to website, and we do have our application online using Azure Storage. If I want to see if we create a summer free account here, we can come back here, go to Open Portal. We can see all the informations about our storage account. As we can see here, we are using a standard. Standard is for free, and our application is hosting using in this resource group using this Azure storage. So as you can see, you can use two different ways to hosting your web application, using Azure Web App Service or using Azure storage account. Nice. So let's return here to the nice. So what have we learned today? So we learned to create a Azure resource group, create hosting application using Azure Web App Service, how to hosting this Azure App Service in Azure, and how to deploy the application using Kudu, and how to deploy static website application in Azure Storage using Visual Studio Code using Azure Tools extension inside in the Visual Studio Code. So as we can see here, when you use Azure with Node.js, with JavaScript applications, is something very beautiful, very special, very important, because you can hosting around to 10, I think around to 10 web applications for free in different each data centers. You can host it 10 different web applications. So you can try to do some experiment using these services. Azure services very good started, you know. So here I have important resources and links. So we have a good documentation, especially in Portuguese, English, Spanish as well. So we have Azure for JavaScript, Node.js developers here, Azure documentation, uh, documentation about app service, uh, e- um, a documentation as well using how to use Azure Storage as well. And as I said before, to use these two services, you have to create before Azure account. This is very important to say because if you don't have an Azure account, you can use these two services. Okay. So Microsoft have right now a new platform. It's very important to say about it, this platform because it's for free. So let me show you here a little bit. All of you here learning, MSL learning. So let me show you here English page. Nice. So as you can see here, we have a new platform. Before we are using Microsoft Virtual Academy, but this website will stop it to working. I think around July. So everything inside the MVA portal, we are migrating to the Microsoft Learning. So everything that you want to learn about cloud services, about artificial intelligence, about how to create HTML or JS or CSS website using JavaScript, HTML, CSS uh, files, or how to use WSL. So you can find everything here for free. So it's very important, especially if you want to to do the AZ 900 certification. Is the first certification for one to do for Azure development. So you can start this path for free. Okay, so this is my tip about the link here. So you can start to learn it today. Okay. So that's it. If you want to contact me anytime, this is my email is glemos@microsoft.com. If you want to follow me on Twitter, my handler is Glaucia_Lemos 86. So if you want to contact me anytime, less in the weekends, in the nightmare. So I really enjoy to use my weekends to resting and to create some my own projects. So if you want to find me anytime, especially during the week, you can send me any messages anytime from me. Okay. Thank you very much for the invitation. Sorry for my awful uh, English. I feel that I needed to improve a little bit more my English. So that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Glaucia. Your English is very, very, very better for me. It's okay. Thank you for your amazing session and your time.
Thank you
Awesome.
very much.
So, guys, in a few minutes, we'll start Louis' session. Okay. So, see you few minutes. Hello, Luis.
Hello.
Hello, how's it going?
It's going great, but well, right now there's a blackout here at school. It was quite surprising, but anyways, we are here.
Oh, it's okay now. Okay.
Well, actually, someone shared me her internet data, so that's why I'm connecting this way.
Okay.
Okay, so I think we can start. Let me share my screen. Well, actually, okay. Sorry for the delay.
No problem. It's okay. Um,
Good. Could you confirm if you can see the slides, please?
yeah, yes, yeah.
Yes. All right.
So,
So, shall we start?
are you ready? Yeah.
Yes, I'm ready. Right?
Yeah, please. So,
Okay,
guys,
good.
now Microsoft MVP, Luis. See, thank you.
All right. So, thank you everyone for joining this presentation, which is part of MSP Tech Days. My name is Luis Beltran. I am Microsoft MVP in Developer Technologies, and today I'm talking about what's new in Visual Studio 2019 and why this is the best tool for development solutions or software development solutions. So let's get started. Before that, well, just a brief special thanks to Universidad Técnica de Ecuador and also the Microsoft UTN student community. Uh, we are here giving some courses about Xamarin, about ASP.NET Core, and well, it is quite fun to be here. And well, just a bit about me. I am PhD student and researcher at Thomas Batia University in Slin. 4 years ago, I started as MSP as well, and well, at the university in Czech Republic. I'm also a lecturer or professor in Tecnológico Nacional de México in Celaya in Mexico, well, of course. And well, my blog is luisbeltran.mx and my email luis@luisbeltran.mx in case I can help you with some question, project, or whatever you want to talk about. So thank you to the MSP for the invitation at this event. Yes. All right. Yes. Just give me a second, please. So I can continue. So let's get started with the topic. You know, most of the time, the technology is increasing in complexity. There are new technologies, there are new projects that have to be developed, such as Internet of Things, virtual reality, augmented reality, and also artificial intelligence. So that means that developers need a lot of expertise in several architectures or software development patterns. They have to be experts in front end, middle layer, back end. They need to know a lot of languages. They need the best tools for developing software. And well, Microsoft is there to assist us developers with the best tools. In this case, in March, there was the new update in Visual Studio 2019. But if you have checked the website or the documentation, well, you know that since Visual Studio 2017, there have been a lot of previews, a lot of updates, and well, maybe most of the interesting and most exciting things and features that are in Visual Studio 2019, maybe you already knew about them because you have installed or checked the updates in 2017. So, well, Visual Studio 2019 integrates a lot of products, a lot of services, such as Azure for cloud computing development, Azure DevOps, for continuous integration, continuous deployment, Visual Studio App Center, and, well, of course, the tools such as Visual Studio for Mac, and Visual Studio Code. Well, maybe in the chat, you can tell me if you have Visual Studio 2019 installed or not yet. If you have not installed it, why or what's the reason for it? Well, I can talk a bit about it. In my case, I wait maybe 1 month to install it because, well, I had some projects with some customers, mainly 2 projects, and I wanted to finish them, and so I could install the new product. But, well, one day, one weekend, I said, okay, let's just try the new tool, and I can assure you that it's a good change. It's a change for the best, because Visual Studio 2019 is faster. It actually opens your project, your old project, without any issue. I think I did not have any problem. So if you are having some questions, some doubts about upgrading to the latest version, I can assure you that you should do it. It's better for your development productivity. All right. So yeah, in the meantime, I will check if there are any questions. Okay, so let's continue with it. What's new in Visual Studio 2019? Well, I will talk a bit about these features in the next slides. But, well, there is a side-by-side installation. I will mention it in the next slide. There is a new and redesigned user experience. There are new themes, light, blue, dark. There are several improvements in Visual Studio search experience, in the start window, code lens, well, you name it. There are several new features that I will recommend you to check it out. So, okay, the first one. When you install Visual Studio 2019, you are presented with a new screen, the Visual Studio installer, but it will detect if you have a previous version installed. You can see here Visual Studio Community 2017, and also the specific version, 15.9.2, and it will let you know that there is a new update available. But of course, you can also install or modify the installation, the setup of the latest version, Visual Studio Community 2019. So as you can see, you can actually work, or you can have both versions installed side by side. That's the meaning of this term. So you can even download and install Visual Studio 2019 and still use the older version without any issues in performance, or in if you would have some problems opening the files. Actually, it is a very good exercise if you open one project in Visual Studio 2017 and the same project in VS 2019. You will see the difference. All right. So, well, that's one feature about the new version. Well, you know about workloads because this came in the 2017 version. If you are a mobile developer, if you work with Xamarin like me, well, you can just check the box here, mobile development with .NET, which means Xamarin. If you actually develop games with Unity, you can check the mark there, or maybe you are working with C++. You can also check the workload about web development with ASP.NET or Azure. Well, it is quite organized. It is not necessary that you install everything, all about Visual Studio. You can just check whatever you want to work with, and you will see the installation details here, and also how many gigabytes you need to install these features or these workloads, actually. Well, this was not new, quite new, because in 2017 you knew about it. So, well, if you are a software developer, you must probably fall in love with the newest features. I will talk a bit about it. The first thing that you will notice when the Visual Studio is opened is that you can immediately access to your recent projects. This is the first screen that shows up when you open VS 2019. So yeah, you have a quick shortcut to there. This new version is also focused on team collaboration, GitHub, Azure repos, and well, working with the cloud. So you can actually, you also have some links to clone a project from repositories such as GitHub or Azure DevOps. You can open a project or solution, which is the most common one, if it does not appear here in your recent solutions. You can actually open a local folder, and you can create a new project, which is also another main link that you will probably use. So yeah, in short, you have immediate access to your projects. Another improvement is in search. You can actually access this feature with Ctrl+Q. You can search anything that you want from Visual Studio, such as Solution Explorer or themes or whatever you like. Maybe you don't exactly remember where is some menu or some option located. You can just search it there. And one good thing about this search is that it implements Fuzzy search. So if you have some typo or if you don't write it correctly, it will probably does not matter. It won't probably matter because it will help you. So I can show this here. Just give me a second. I have Visual Studio here, and if I press Ctrl+Q, I will immediately access the search experience. So okay, maybe I want to install a NuGet package. So I can just type NuGet package. Yeah, and I can access, and then yeah, proceed to install or browse or check the packages that I have in my solution. As I told you, if I maybe write it or yeah, I have a typo here, it will still work because of this Fuzzy search. Maybe I can write it again wrong. Yeah, you will have the result there. So this is one improvement from this new version. I will recommend you to try it. Actually, we will try it again in the presentation when I talk about another characteristic of VS 2019. Another feature about VS 2019 that I like the most is CodeLens. Maybe you know about CodeLens because it was implemented in a previous version, but in Enterprise. Well, CodeLens actually is quite useful because it lets you know the number of references that a property or a function has. Also, it gives you important information for unit testing and also some data from application insights. So actually, you can see here there is a method, and we can check that, okay, this method is accessed 8 times, or there are 8 references for this method. For search song, there are 2. And, well, I can show you again here. In this case, I have properties. Maybe I want to check, okay, where this título or title is implemented. So I can see here the references. I can click it, and I have immediate access for specific files and also lines. I can actually double click it and it will take me to this specific line, and maybe I want to change it, replace it, or do something else. All right. So that's one good thing. Maybe some developers don't want to have this feature by default. So it is actually quite easy to turn it off. I can just, again, use the search function, and I will have immediate access to this configuration setting, sorry, turn code length on or off. I click it, and with just one click, I can, make it disappear. All right. So that's, but well, as I told you, I encourage you to use this feature. So it is up to you because, as I told you, it's quite useful. As I told you, this was available as a Visual Studio Enterprise only feature, but now it is included in the community version. So it is up to you if you want to use it. It is also extensible, so we might expect some developers to implement new plugins or new extensions. All right. Could you tell me in the chat if you use CodeLens or if you find it interesting? Next, we have refactorings. Refactorings, in short, are some help that Visual Studio gives you to add extra code or to format your code. You can use suggestions about this code. Yeah, as you can see in this case, well, there is an if statement, and there is a refactoring that helps you to implement it in a different way, like avoiding double negation or just replacing it for another logic operator. One refactoring that I like the most is that sometimes we implement interfaces, and okay, we add the specific method. This send email async is included in email sender, but maybe I forgot face, and I have it here in my class. So I can use the refactoring to pull this method to the interface, and I can show it quickly to you. So in this case, I have the email sender example, and I have my interface here. This one. Yep. As you can see, there is one method. And now I want to add another method, public task something. All right. And maybe it receives some string parameter. And okay, just this code. I want to add this method to the interface here. So I can just double click the name of this method and okay, use this quick action. And you can see here the option pull do nothing up to my email sender. So I will click it. And if I come back to the interface, then you can see the method that it is now there. So yeah, that's something which boosts your productivity. So yeah, what do you think about it? Okay, so there is another feature that I like the most, which is IntelliCode, artificial intelligence assisted intelligence with IntelliCode. What is IntelliCode? Well, you know, we write code and we want to be productive. Sometimes we write or we use some methods many times in our code. So it would be nice if we could have some quick access to these methods, or if actually my code skills would be implemented in my projects. Like, okay, I mostly use camel case or just capital letters or some pattern that I follow. And you know, artificial intelligence is quite useful for detecting those patterns. So yeah, basically IntelliCode allows you to save some time by putting what you are most likely to use at the top of your completion list. And you can see here, well, normally the methods are sorted alphabetically, but now they can be sorted by usage. Yeah. This IntelliCode is an artificial intelligence model that was created or based on thousands of open source projects on GitHub, publicly available, with more than 100 stars. So that means that they are first complex projects, big projects, and also because of the rating, they are accepted or nice projects. All right. So basically, you will get common practices, and this is available for C#, SAML, and C++ in Visual Studio 2019. If you are Visual Studio Code developer, then this feature is available in Java, TypeScript, JavaScript, and Python. But the most interesting thing about IntelliCode is that you can create your custom models, your own models, based off your own code. And it is quite useful, or actually easy, to create this model. I will show you how in the next slides. The first step is to install the extension, IntelliCode extension for Visual Studio. You can go to the marketplace and search for IntelliCode, or you can also go here, extensions, manage extensions, and look for IntelliCode. Yep. In this case, I have already installed. So the second step is to create the model, create the custom model in this menu. Okay, I'm not telling you what's the menu, but you know we have the Visual Studio search, so I can just type IntelliCode, and we will have immediate or direct access to model management. Yep. Now, okay, I want IntelliCode to analyze my code, this project, Biblioteca UTN. So let's click on Create New Model. Yes. And if you know about artificial intelligence, you know that models are trained, they are explored, and after few seconds or minutes, depending on the complexity of your project, it will deploy a model, and it will be easy to actually use it. All right. So let's just wait for a bit. And another interesting feature about IntelliCode is that you can actually share this pattern or this model with your colleagues. Yep. You can see in this case that after this model is created, you will be presented with a summary, some classes. This is the most used code, and the language, of course. Okay, yeah, it actually finished. It is now finished. I can share the model. Yeah. And well, and let's do this string message equals to string dot, and yeah, you can see here these star methods are the most used in my code, or the most probable probable ones that you will use. Maybe I use join most of the time in this code, or parts is the most used method with the int struct. So yeah, it is probably that you will use it. But yeah, in some cases, maybe you are looking for some other element, all right? Well, so if you see that there is method with a star, it means that IntelliCode recommends you to use that one because it analyzes your patterns. So that's a good or interesting issue. What do you think about it? If there are any questions, just let me know. What's next? All right. So we have also another request feature, which is being able to edit the CSProc file. Normally, if we wanted to edit the project file, we would have to open the file outside Visual Studio and then modify it and finally reload the project. Now it is quite easy to do it. We just right-click on the project name, and there is an option here. You can change edit project file. This one, yeah. And well, I just need to add some or code or delete or do whatever I want to do about this one, and no need to reload or to open it with external editors such as Notepad or Visual Studio Code. Yeah, now it is possible to modify it directly from Visual Studio. Another thing that we like is finding our files with Control-T. Okay, I have a problem because I don't have much energy right now, but okay, let's see what we can do. With Control-T, we can find our files. Let's say that I want to find, okay, the alumno model or views. Yeah, so we have in this case. Yeah, so I can quickly access, in this case, details for alumno. All right. Okay. Do you have any questions? I will make a brief pause. If you have any questions about it, just give me 1 second while I plug in my computer, okay? If you have any questions, please type it in the chat. Conectar no hay luz, ¿no? ¿Te sirve mi máquina? Thank you very much. Ese sí, mejor desconectar. Okay. I'm back. Sorry. Okay, so let's continue. There is another nice option, nice feature, which is find references. And you can actually check if this property is used for read or write operations. It is quite easy. So let's go back again to Visual Studio. Okay, maybe I want to analyze my property. Which one? Okay, this. No, this one. Okay, the title again. All right. I have 6 references, I know, but I can right-click Título and then check the Find All References option, and Visual Studio will present these 6 lines, but we can see that in this case, this line or this property is used for a read operation. It means that it will be displayed or assigned to a variable, okay? You can see it there. it's just presenting information in a website, web page. Let's try another one, an interesting one. Let me check which one. Okay, maybe this one. ID identity. So let's again find all references. And now I can see that this property is used for a write operation here because, well, it is assigned a value. Same here. In this case, it's for read. I can also filter. Maybe I just want to know, okay, this property, I want to know where it's used only for write operations. Okay, so I can use this filter, and yeah, I will be presented with only these two search items. And well, that's another feature or good thing about Visual Studio. And well, the next thing is live share. I don't know if I will be able to demo this one because, well, we have a nice demo, but as I told you, there is a blackout here at school. So my colleague is not having his computer ready because there is no power. But okay, just give me a second because just a second, sorry. No, estamos acá. Ya está. Pues. Okay. All right. So, what is Visual Studio Live Share? Live Share is a service which allows a colleague, a member, other developers to share a project, a code base with a context. It means browser or tools installed, and the other person, the other colleague, will be able to collaborate directly from Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code. They will have immediate, instant, and bidirectional. It means that I can write a code and then my colleague can complement it without any problems. So basically, it's like using like TeamViewer or, these tools, but inside Visual Studio. It is actually one of the greatest tools or implementations or features in Visual Studio 2019. I will ask a question to the chat. Have any of you tried Visual Studio Live Share? It is quite useful because I can tell my friend, okay, I have a problem here in this line. Could you help me? And there is no need to maybe publish it to GitHub, and then my friend downloads it, install it, and run it. He can directly access or check some files, and by default, it is installed on Visual Studio 2019. So I told you there is no need to clone repos or whatever. Yeah. So basically, you pair the projects or the you pair the project, yep, with your colleague, and it is not necessary that your friend is in the same network because it is actually cloud-based. Okay, so, well, I can show you a demo about it. So let's try it, right? So this is my project, and I will run it to show you what is my problem with my code. All right? Okay. Now. This is an ASP.NET project. It it is MVC. It is connected with MySQL, and it also implements authentication, right? So a user can log in, but I am quite sure that I implemented Facebook external login in my project, but as you can see, it is giving me this message that there is no external authentication services. So, well, there is a nice documentation how to do it, but I am quite sure that I already did everything. My friend Humberto here, which is an expert Microsoft MVP, say hi to the audience, Humberto.
Hi, everybody.
He's an expert, and well, I can maybe ask him, Humberto, could you be so nice to help me with my project?
No.
Okay, so he doesn't want
to.
to. Okay, now at the end he told me yes, he can help me. Okay,
I can.
yes, thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, so I will use live share. In this case, okay, I think you are already in or no? No? Okay, so I will end this live share session. Just give me a second. Okay, so in Visual Studio 2019, you are presented with this live share button. I can just click it, and okay, it's just giving me some information about a firewall. I will get a link. This link here, invitation link, copied to clipboard. I can send it to anyone I trust, of course. This has to be a teammate or someone that I want, that I would like to receive some help from. So I will share this by email. Please help me. Okay. So Humberto, I already sent you the link to your email. Could you please check it?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. And
I have the link.
right. So I'm just waiting for him to connect to my session. Actually, I have here this live share panel. Yep. And
It is loading.
okay, yeah, it is now connecting. And as you can see, yeah, Humberto has joined this collaboration session. And well, actually, I am pretty sure that my problem is in this identity hosting startup code. Yeah, I'm quite sure that there is some problem there. But maybe you can check it for me, Humberto. Do you see my files?
Yes, I am seeing your files.
All right. So in his computer, he is actually using Mac. He is using Visual Studio.
Yes, VS Code.
VS Code. All right. Yep. And yeah, he can browse to the project files. He can add. He can yeah, edit, delete, do whatever he wants. There is this he doing.
Okay, let me check.
All right.
That's the problem.
Yeah, so the problem is that that is how it will go. Nice.
That's the problem.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good.
That's all magic.
Yeah. Did you run it again? Maybe we have some connectivity or network issues. Yeah. It's all right. I will just okay. Yeah, some problem with my network probably. Yeah. Let's open it again. E-hosting service. Yep. Actually, Humberto added these 3 lines. Now I can see them. Maybe there was some sync problem, but he added these lines of code. Yes, he is actually adding secret app ID and secret from Facebook. And well, another thing that he can do from this session, he can actually start a debugging session. So you can maybe press F5 or start. I don't know if you are presented with a button, or should I start?
No, probably I start the session.
Yes.
I don't know what happened with the button, but
Yeah.
I can use the keyboard.
Yeah. As you can see, a debugging session has just started, and I did not click it. I did not press it. And well, let's try again. There is login. And now you can see that this external provider is already added. I did not type anything because my friend helped me. Now maybe he can tell me the invoice amount. Okay, so I will just try the functionality of this. Let's start it. And yeah, this will return back to my application. Yeah, I accept it. And yeah, it worked because now this external provider link worked. I will just register it. And okay, yeah, this username is already taken, but well, that's another issue. So, well, I will check it later, but it is working. I just wanted to check if the login with Facebook was working. So another thing that he can do is to actually add some breakpoints. Let me, for instance, open which one? Let's try external login. Yeah, this one. So I will just check it here. This is the validation. Sorry, this is looking for some student, if it exists or not, when the email is presented. So I will click the button, and yeah, you can see there that this there is a debug here, and actually my friend can add another breakpoint. Yeah, he can type, he can modify it. Maybe you can step step by step run another one. Well, in this case, since you modify or deleted the code, yeah, this breakpoint will not reach. But again, he is doing the debug session. He's checking that everything is working or not. He's trying. Okay, this result is false because there is it was not possible to create it because it already existed. Yeah, so now that's it's our job to check it. So if you are working with teams, if you would like to maybe help others, LiveShare is one of the greatest tools included in Visual Studio 2019. I highly recommend you to check it out. Well, thank you, Humberto, for your kind help. And I will invite you some beer later.
I need money.
Money.
Not a beer.
No beer. Okay, so thank you, Humberto. All right, so sorry. Yeah. Well, that's it for me. As quick summary, I encourage you to try Visual Studio 2019. I just give you a brief summary about the features of this new version of our favorite coding and development tool. You can try it out, visualstudio.com. You know there is community version, which is free for students, startups, and developers which does not have high incomes. So yeah, of course, there is a professional, there is enterprise version with more features, mainly for unit testing or for some other collaboration implementations. As you can see, it is quite easy, and it is you can boost your productivity by using this tool. And well, now it is time for questions. If you have some, you can let me know in chat. What about Blazor? Yeah, Blazor is also included. There are new features. To be honest, I am not expert in Blazor, but I have read that it is included in the features are that you can create projects with Visual Studio 2019. I'm sorry, I'm not. I have not checked it too much because, well, I'm not web developer. I'm mainly mobile developer, but sometimes I have to create some APIs or some small websites. But yeah, I can check it later. In the meantime, if you have any other questions, I invite you to our Facebook group, Comunidad Samarin en Español. If you speak Spanish, if you speak Portuguese, well, you can join. We mainly talk about mobile software development. There are experts, there are newcomers, there are beginners, and you are invited to join our community. It's the biggest one in Latin America about mobile software development with Xamarin. We are almost 9,000 members from several countries in Latin America, Europe, and also Africa. And well, if there are no other questions, that's it from me. Thank you very much for your attention and also for following this MSP Tech Days. You have my email, my blog. You can follow me on Twitter if you feel to. Actually, this presentation is already shared on SlideShare. I upload my presentations there. If you want to use it, you are free to do it. Well, and I also have a YouTube channel, ArchiveBeam, and I mainly talk, as I told you, I mainly talk about Microsoft technologies, Xamarin mainly. And well, that's it from me. Thank you very much to the Microsoft Student Partner Program, MSP Tech Days, Orlando. Thank you for the invitation, and also thank you to the audience for being here and learning.
So, thank you, Luis. Thank you for your amazing session. It's awesome.
Thank you very much for your comments.
Thank you. So, guys, on Thursday, we have another day of MSP Tech Days. Second day about development, software development. So, see you and bye-bye.
Goodbye, good night.